Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Monday evening and hang on till I move that. This evening we are talking bandwagons and the jumping on or off of such things. Now, I'm sure you will all have seen reports that in Scotland they are threatening that anyone without this super duper energy efficiency certificate is in the next few years not going to be able to sell their home. If you want to sell your home, it must have this super duper energy efficiency certificate. And what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to make sure that there are no more gas boilers installed in properties. They want us all to have heat source pumps. Sounds like a great idea. Now, as far as I understand it, understanding I only know the basics, heat source pumps either take the heat from the ground or from the air and do the condensing thing and heat it up, and that's how you get your house heated through underfloor heating and such things. Here in Scotland, that doesn't work too well because you imagine an air source heat pump or a ground source heat pump when we've got temperatures of -8 or -10 degrees. What's going to happen? It's going to freeze. And because it starts freezing, the pump thinks, oh no, so it starts taking heat out of the house to defrost the mechanism. So then you end up with no heat. So that is not the best idea, I do not think. But that's what they're looking at. Now, thankfully, there are already some voices coming through going, don't be so silly, it's Scotland. We have a wet, cold, things freeze, etc., etc. There's some places seemingly where these heat source pumps work, but they seemingly have dry, cold weather, which is different. So they tell me. But also, I have to say, I have found that places with underfloor heating, I don't think they get as warm as if you've got radiators or a wood burner or a gas fire or an electric fire for that matter. I don't think places with, certainly up here in Scotland, just to clarify, I don't think they get as warm as the other forms of heating. So it will be interesting to see how many people jump on that bandwagon and how many people jump off as more information comes to light. The same as the low traffic neighbourhoods. Many people were like, this is a fabulous thing, this is great. Now that they've been running for a while, people are not quite so keen. 15-minute cities, people are not quite so keen. ULEZ, unfortunately, still going, but people are definitely not as keen on it as they used to be. And I think it's one of those things that, there's this huge push. We normally get a huge push in the media, a huge push from politicians and, focal groups, etc., like that, things like that. And they're like, oh, do this. This is the best thing ever. This is going to help this. This is going to help that. Now, I saw the headline with Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK, saying that they're going to do some huge carbon capture thing. And the answer that I saw underneath it is, isn't that what trees are for? And that, as far as I'm concerned, is true. But there's so many costs being cut by local councils, local authorities. They're like, oh, we can't pay to maintain the trees. So a lot of our streets in our towns and cities have got no shade, no carbon capture, no way to clean the air, etc. And we're suffering for it. One of the things I have done is there was a little baby tree in the corner of my garden, just not long after I moved in here. And I have let it grow. Now, it's barely taller than me now, but it gets quite a few leaves on it and it shades part of the house. And definitely as it grows more, it will shade more of the house. I am looking to put a tree in another area at the front of my house so that I get shaded from the morning sun, because I don't think it's going to get much cooler somehow. And I think that's something a lot of us should look at, because it's all very well, saying, oh, we'll do this carbon capture, oh, we'll do this, and this is how we're going to manage the situation, to manage the way the weather's changing, to manage the way the cost of living's changing, etc., etc. But, I'd rather look after myself. I'd rather make sure I've done it than wait on someone doing it for me. One of the other things that I saw today was that they are asking for the government to change the status of farm workers because we cannot get farm workers. Over £22 million worth of food was left to rot in the fields in the UK last year because they didn't have people to pick it. Now, personally, I'm thinking I need to learn to grow more things. I know I said that last year and I didn't, but that is one bandwagon I would be jumping on, is preserving food and learning how to grow some food. Because if that amount of food was left in the fields last year in the middle of a cost of living crisis, how much more is going to be left in future? So yeah, there's bandwagons to jump on, bandwagons to jump off. There's lots of things going on, lots of things that people are passionate about and pushing and saying we should be doing this, we should be doing that. And then after 6 months when it happens, people are looking at it going, well, actually. So, but certainly for the prices of things like your heat pumps, your solar energy, I looked at solar energy a couple of years ago to try and cut my electricity costs here. And I was going to be lucky if I was shaving £300-400 off a year after spending thousands to get solar energy panels installed. Much cheaper, much quicker for me to put a wood stove in. And it's paid for itself already. My £150 a month bill has now, even in the summer months, because I paid £150 a month religiously, some months I was behind, some months I was in front, my bill this month is £85. So it's less than it's been for years. So definitely something to look at. So yeah, that's my thought for today. There's many bandwagons going about there. Be careful which one you jump on. Catch you later.